When I turned 40, something changed. I was invited to join a group called One by One and found myself sitting at a long table at the House of the Wannsee Conference in Berlin, Germany, where the final solution was created. And on my side of the table sat the sons and daughters of Holocaust survivors. And on the other side of the table sat sons and daughters of the Nazi perpetrators. And I listened as people told their stories one by one. And it was then I felt something burst open. My stories were done waiting, and they came flooding out. When the dam breaks, oh, I feel a rising fear, and ghosts come round and whisper in my ear, and the stories they tell, oh, they make my heart ache. But what the river gives, the river takes. When the dam breaks. That day in Berlin, without any direction, one person's story would just wind down and another story would just begin. Children of the monsters were sitting across the table from me, and I really didn't know what to expect. Would they be monsters too? Would I hate them? What would I feel? And then I heard Helga speak. She had a soft, sad, apologetic face. She spoke in a quiet voice. She told us her father, who was indeed a monster, and what it was like growing up with him. Her father was the commandant of the concentration camp where my mom was interned. I learned of his cruelty and how he personally was responsible for the execution of so many innocent people, including my mom's boyfriend. I knew this cruelty also extended to Helga's childhood. And what I felt at that moment, it wasn't hate. It was love and compassion. And I could see that she was a victim, perhaps even more than I was. Years later, my mom met Helga at a gathering in the US. And after hearing her stories, they became really good friends. The other can become one of us when we listen just right. There was a time before the current ICE raids when different thugs were empowered with absolute immunity to hunt, round up, maim at will, and send the others to concentration camps. Others were anyone who weren't just like the us. At that time, it was defined as the Aryan race. And the thugs were part of a group called the Schutzstaffel, the SS, the Protection Squad. SS, ICE, both snake-sounding acronyms. Is it just a coincidence? Is history repeating? I believe history is indeed rhyming, and I feel a story inside me. It's about a girl that had to go into hiding and adopt a new identity to save her life. The girl was my mom's younger sister. Her name was Zula, and here's her story. Unlearn the shape of me. Let me become what it is that I must be. Until the harm has lost its track. Until the night cannot come back. Hold me close, hold me right, keep me safe and out of sight. I am just a lonely hidden child. Yes, I am just a lonely hidden child. My grandfather was sent to Majdanek and was forced to play in the orchestra until he was executed along with the 100,000 plus others. The Nazis intended that his music would deceive and pacify and serve as an implement of submission. But I believe it had another effect. I believe it helped the musicians and listeners survive the Holocaust by giving them hope. Your melodies are your message, heavenly like a hymn. You played in defiance, you played though love grew thin. Days filled with hate, amidst hate you found light within. And with light you played on to see another day and win. Strings of hope you played, and your bow breeze of prayer. Strings of hope reaching up to touch the air. I'd like to take us back to the present, because one of the reasons I am doing this is because of history rhyming. I feel that there's a lot of stuff that is very similar to what was going on then. And I was in despair about it until I saw what was being done in Minneapolis. I saw people stand together hand in hand. And I saw on the news an interview with a mom wearing a mask, driving in her car to deliver food to those friends and neighbors in hiding. So I knew I had to show my support for them. Stand together in grocery lines like sentries, wheeling cartfuls of careful choices. They check in on their neighbors waiting in hiding. Stories falling in quiet voices. They will travel across the bridges of Minneapolis. Oh, brave mothers of our northern heart, you kept the pulse steady, and even as the streets they did tremble, you were always at the ready. And Minneapolis learned what love looks like when you cover your face to keep another safe. And we will travel across the bridges of Minneapolis. Minneapolis, our twin cities, we stand with you. Thank you.